when you look 5 years ago, none of this growth was hardly happening, right? And now there's just this big boom, and just excited about helping people, achieve what they want to achieve and come to this area for growth and, for really a better place to live.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. We were driving through in 2020. So we moved to Roswell in 2020. And we happened to stumble downtown Roswell, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the cutest, and it's just, I'm so proud to live in this area.
Yeah.
It is like a small town, but it's not, right?
Yeah, right.
It's a smaller community, but with such passionate people and so many y'all, just your willingness and openness to me and just embracing me, from day one is just so appreciated. And it's like that, with the chambers, so Forsyth Chambers, the exact same way, Greater North Fulton Chamber. So it's just a very welcoming environment. Yeah. And what I'm doing is my dream job, to really just be in the area that I live.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
A sincere thank you to Wellstar North Fulton Medical Center for its sponsorship and for fostering a healthy community where businesses can thrive.
Welcome back to Brew Talks. I'm Steve Stroud, President and CEO of Roswell Inc. We're your economic development organization here in the city of Roswell.
I'm Eddie Williams, President and CEO of Visit Roswell, the city's official destination marketing organization charged with promoting tourism throughout the community. And on this episode of Women Who Lead, we have a very special guest, somebody who we work with very often,
On a
perhaps
regular.
More than anybody.
On a regular.
Yeah, other than our partners at the city of Roswell. We have Andrea Sieber here with us. Andrea has a very big title. Does a number of different things, serves a greater area, obviously, other than just Roswell, but a key really piece and partner to what we do here in the community and supporting business too. Andrea, it's great to have you on.
Thank you.
We're going to let you explain, your background. One of the things we like to do is talk to our guests about, how they kind of came up into where they are now, what their background is, why they were driven to their particular company or organization, just so we can get to know you. And then we can talk about that title as area manager and what all you're doing as far as external affairs for the region.
Well, wait a minute. I've got her in my cell phone under contacts. It just says help. It's my helpline. Right?
That's pretty much accurate.
And vice versa. So I have you as help too. But thank y'all so much for having me today. Super excited to be here today. I have been with the company 24 years.
Wow.
And so I've worked for Gulf Power. Southern Company used to own Gulf Power, was there for 10 years, Pensacola, Florida as home. Moved here in 2012 to work at Georgia Power and on the Vogtle 3 and 4 nuclear project.
Okay.
So I've worked in nuclear, I've worked in energy efficiency, I've worked in corporate responsibility, information technology, marketing, you name it. But this role, this region external, is by far the best job I've ever had. It is truly like a dream job for me, just to be in this role and living and serving, working, playing all the things. I live in Roswell, so super excited when this opportunity came open. I was like trying to get John to leave for how many years? Right? I'm like, when are you leaving? No, but really had the opportunity. Thank goodness, a few months ago to transition into this role, because previously I was in Gwinnett as the area manager. Most recently in DeKalb, and now finally
in your hometown.
Hometown. So I serve North Fulton and Forsyth right now as the area manager for Region External Affairs. So Georgia Power breaks up the state into 11 different regions, and I am part of the Metro North team and have responsibility for the communities in North Fulton and Forsyth.
Wow. Big job. Obviously, growing area.
Yeah, I was about to say,
we know that your team at Georgia Power does a lot of economic development, so we appreciate that. Been doing it a long time, but we always talk about the fact that this is an engine and with lots and lots and lots of different parts to the engine, and you touch a lot of those.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's a well-oiled machine, right? And yeah, so economic development is part of what I do in this role. I team up with Matt Colvin, who is our new economic development rep. Previously, it was Brooke Perez.
That's right.
So we have a phenomenal team, and he is really the economic development rep for this area. However, we partner on so many things together because it truly takes a team.
It does,
for things to work.
You've got a deep bench, and it's again, whether it's community support, whether it's economic development, whether it's rates,
right?
Everybody, customer service. You do a lot, and you do a lot for the city as far as helping the city keep the power on.
Oh, absolutely. So with these area manager roles, we wear several different hats. And a lot of that, so primarily, we're responsible for making sure our elected officials, so that includes the mayors of the different cities, legislators, the business community, including y'all, have what you need from Georgia Power, right? And we truly want to be a partner and have a seat at the table so we are able to support, help, uplift the communities around us.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because you're physically also talking about a seat at the table. You guys are involved in a lot of different committees, a lot of different boards.
Right.
We see how active you are in the community. And I want to go back to something too, because for the everyday person that's not involved in economic development, small business support, things like that, they think of you all as just a utility provider. And we know that Georgia Power, Southern Company, I mean, it goes well beyond that. Can we walk it back and talk about, you guys are really a juggernaut when it comes to economic development in particular. And my first kind of, understanding of that was when I worked at the Madison Morgan County Chamber of Commerce. And there was a big partnership there, very similar to how it is with Roswell Inc., with the city of Roswell. When somebody just thinks of a power provider, a utility company, explain how economic development plays a part in that and why you guys are so involved in helping local communities with that.
Right. So we have a saying at Georgia Power, we are a citizen where we serve, right? So that means supporting what is going on in the business community, right? In education, economic development. And economic development is not just, growth and moving, pushing dirt, right? It's everything. It's about making sure that the community is prepared to, successfully open or welcome new opportunities in economic development. So when a new company wants to move here from another location, whether it's nationally, regionally, et cetera, we want to make sure that they have the right workforce in place here, the right education, right? So will there be opportunities for good schools and also just infrastructure, right? When you look at infrastructure, so utilities are a part of that as well, of course. Do we have the ability to serve those needs of those customers, right? So we truly want to have a seat at the table and make sure that our communities are living and thriving and growing, right? And we're super proud to, the state of Georgia, 13 years in a row, the number one state 13. To do business in. And it's for a reason, right? It's because of all these partnerships that we have with chambers, with development authorities, with the schools, colleges, universities, local governments.
Right.
All of that, we are truly a boots on the ground organization, and we want to be part of the solution and making sure that people can live, work, play, and thrive in the community.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you're facilitating as a company these conversations, right?
That's right.
You're not always driving the conversation. You're facilitating, you're helping make sure that the education piece is out there on a subject, right? And we see that all across the board.
It's really like a collaborator, right? You're bringing people together for the betterment of the community. So a lot of what we do is making sure that the right folks are seated at the right tables, right? Just because we have such a great strength, or we're all over the state, right?
Sure.
And we are very intentional about where we place ourselves, just to make sure that, again, the right communities, the right folks are talking to each other to make these decisions.
Well, and you mentioned that the different areas that you serve, and we talk a lot about North Fulton, obviously being a central part of that here in Roswell. Forsyth County, rapidly growing, a lot of good stuff going on up there.
Yes.
So with you being so involved in those different areas and working with the leadership in those areas, what are you most excited about seeing that's up and coming? Because there is a lot going on.
Right. There's so much going on, y'all. It's just the growth and the potential, right? Just the opportunities to grow and to serve. And, we just have the real estate up here. I mean, just this area, right? We're just, it's a phenomenal area to be in. So, the North Metro area is just, it's so, when you look 5 years ago, none of this growth was hardly happening, right? And now there's just this big boom, and just excited about helping people, achieve what they want to achieve and come to this area for growth and, for really a better place to live.
Right.
Right. We were driving through in 2020. So we moved to Roswell in 2020. And we happened to stumble downtown Roswell, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the cutest, and it's just, I'm so proud to live in this area.
Yeah.
It is like a small town, but it's not, right?
Yeah, right.
It's a smaller community, but with such passionate people and so many y'all, just your willingness and openness to me and just embracing me, from day one is just so appreciated. And it's like that, with the chambers, so Forsyth Chambers, the exact same way, Greater North Fulton Chamber. So it's just a very welcoming environment. Yeah. And what I'm doing is my dream job, to really just be in the area that I live.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, we talked about rates a little bit.
That's right.
Or kind of teased it a little bit too, but you're working with these different companies, you're working with residences, and local residents, and there are a lot of complexities involved in that with, with the rates and what people pay, and power in general. And so, let's chat about that. What all's involved in it, and where's Georgia Power going with it?
So we're super excited because we continue to be 20% lower than the national average with our rates. We recently announced a 3-year rate freeze. And a lot of that is because of this large growth that's coming in, right? So a lot of that data centers, when people get scared when they hear data about data centers, but we worked with the Public Service Commission last year to update rules and regs that protect customers. So your existing residential, commercial customers, industrial, from bearing those costs of those large data centers or manufacturers that are coming. So they're having to pay for those upfront costs of the transmission, the distribution, the generation. So we are unique in the nation that Georgia is one of the only states that is doing that. So because of this growth that's coming to the area, customers are seeing a relief and experiencing downward pressure on rates because of this growth is going on. And so there's a lot of false narrative out there. And part of what I do and what the team does is help educate, the business community, our cities, et cetera, about the benefits of growth.
Right.
Well, and I think too, what you see is we have a very unique system in the state of Georgia with the way the Public Service Commission. A lot of people take our Public Service Commission for granted, but they really do work for the consumer and the business. Because part of the reason we're able to attract the businesses for the last 13 years is our rate structures and how we operate. So which is very unique.
Oh, absolutely. Because you think about other jurisdictions, other companies, they use electricity as a commodity, right? Buy, trade, sell it. And we're just proud of that model, right? The vertically integrated, which means, like I mentioned, that we own and operate all of our, generating plants, transmission, and distribution. And we are state regulated by the Public Service Commission. So they oversee what we're doing. And, they're the ones making a decision on how much we are allowed to receive in returns, right? So it is a very an excellent structure that Georgia is in, where you don't see that in a lot of different jurisdictions. And that's why you see these high fluctuations of cost, right? These outages, right? Blackouts, brownouts, etc. You don't see that in Georgia because of how we are vertically integrated.
Yep.
Well, and y'all, a few years back, it's been more than a few years back, acquired AGL. And
That's
so
right.
that puts AGL in your hip pocket. In other words, it's another tool, Atlanta Gas Light, which is all the infrastructure, right? You've got multiple people you can choose to buy your gas from.
That's right.
But AGL is the infrastructure.
Yeah, so they are right. So they're operating, right, the infrastructure of the gas. Right. So we did buy them back in 2016, I believe, and that's when we sold off Gulf Power. But yeah, part of that was a decision, a great decision on Southern Company's part.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and again, a move that helps solidify what you do in these communities.
Yeah. We have a great partnership with them. Yeah. So they're all part of Southern Company.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, you as a local resident, and obviously somebody who now professionally is going to, be serving the community in your role, love to ask our guests as well, what are some of the things about Roswell you love? We know that you've tipped off that you love downtown Canton Street. We hear that often. That's a giant recruitment tool, by the way.
It is huge.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a unique, I think it's just a unique town. You have so much history here, right?
Right.
All the history of Roswell, the smallness, but still there are a lot of options as well. The growth that is coming. So y'all have done a phenomenal job on attracting that new growth, right? So excited about that. The Chattahoochee Nature Center. I mean, look at all this, just beautiful, the Chattahoochee River. There's so many things to do here, right? Just a few steps away. And I just think we're in just such a unique part of the state where we have so many cool, just the mill, right? The waterfalls, all the hiking trails. I mean, the walkable community, the families that are out here. It's just, there's so much to do.
Yeah.
There's so much to do.
Yeah, we hear it often too. It's, people don't realize we are the 8th largest city in the state of Georgia. But the comment we always get is it's such a small town feel. I mean, Canton Street's got that Norman Rockwell vibe to it in particular. But I mean, it's a good note too, because here we are 20 minutes north of Atlanta. And like you said, you've got nature, you're minutes away from the North Georgia mountains. I feel like we're kind of in the epicenter of just things to do, whether you want to go head north or down into the city, to experience more of the urban life. But, yeah, we're in a good spot. So it's exciting. And obviously the future is exciting as well.
Yeah. Well, the organic growth, obviously. And again, creating an area where people want to come back to, right? And they want to stay and they want to come visit. This whole community was built on the fact that 172 years ago, an entrepreneur came here and decided to open some mills and build a city. And he did. And today people, they move in and they don't want to leave. Right. And I guarantee you don't want to leave.
No. So remind me, that neighborhood you took me back through when we did the windshield.
Mill Village.
Yes.
The Mill Village.
So, I was just blown away. So if there's any openings there, y'all let me know. Yeah, I know.
She likes the Mill Village.
Like, wow, this is just,
it's
just like a gem. It's cool. Amazing. Yes.
Well, we always say this. We're blessed to have Southern Company and Georgia Power in our region, obviously serving our region. I know you don't serve every household, but you serve a lot of them. Yeah, and so we're lucky to have you as partner, and we really appreciate that partnership. And we're most excited, we can say this about John Asbell, because I gave him a hard time for 5 years, but we still love him. is that you live here.
I know.
Yeah.
So you get to experience it with us.
I know. And thank
Day to
you
day.
all. Yep. It's truly a dream come true.
Well, this is the other thing we always say. It's a great day to do business in Roswell, Georgia. So let's go do some business.
There you go. Cheers.
Keep the lights on.
We will.